First thing to note, this notion that the alt-right is actually conservative is nonsense. Let me define what I mean by alt-right, because not everybody who likes Pepe memes or Harambe memes is a member of the alt-right. Okay, not everybody that the left says is alt-right is actually alt-right. I mean, the left calls me alt-right, which is patently insane. But according to the alt-right, because ideology and race are inextricably intertwined, they must have a white identity politics all their own. If there's a group of people who are fighting for the group identity politics of blacks, or of women, or of gays and lesbians, then there has to be a white group that fights back on behalf of the white race. This has no grounding in reality. Okay, Western civilization is not built on race. There have been lots of countries all over Europe that were not particularly civilized and were quite white. They have freedom, personal responsibility, separation of powers, God-given rights protected by a government elected with the consent of the government. These are the values of Western civilization. Now, let's be straight about this. This is like 10,000 people across the country. Okay, this is not 1 million people. This is not 10 million people. This is not 63 million people. It's not 200 million deplorables. It's a very small, select group of absolutely terrible people who believe absolutely terrible things. But they're getting a lot of attention and coverage right now because we live in a reactionary moment. It is not enough to stand against bad ideologies. You must also stand for a good ideology. You cannot stand with bad people just because you think those bad people make your enemies cry. The enemy of your enemy in a country where we're all supposed to be friends is not only bad strategy, it destroys the country wholesale.
Do I believe that there's any connection between leftist identity politics of past decades and the emergent white identity politics of the alt-right? Yes, I think there's a direct causal connection. It only stands to reason that if identity politics is going to be the acceptable mode of communication, that there are people who are on the white side of the equation, let's say, who are going to decide that they're going to play exactly the same game, clearly, obviously, and horribly, because I'm no fan of identity politics, but what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. So, but I would recommend that people don't do it because, the radical leftists and their damn identity politics that's unbelievably pathological. And if you decide to fight that by playing the same game, you think, well, I'll play the same game and then I'll win. It's like, you won't, because by playing the game, you lose. That's the thing about your political opponents, is you don't play their damn game. You play a different game. And so, what I've been trying to encourage people to do is, instead of playing the collectivist game, and that would include alt-right identity politics, say, is to play the individualist game and to get their act together. The best revenge, I would say, but you shouldn't be doing it for revenge, but the best revenge against the collectivist leftists is to live a stalwart, meaningful, and high-quality individual life. And that's also the pathway that requires the most responsibility and sacrifice, and so I think is the most honorable and least self-deceptive. So